official title is Nutrition Counselor, and I have been in this position, it'll be 4 years this coming March.
Great. What exactly do you do? So what is a typical day like, and what's a typical week look like?
So I work part-time. I work 2.5 days a week, so that's a little different for me now, but the percentage of what I do in my job hasn't really changed at all. So 50% of my job in my week is meeting with students one-on-one to help them with any of their nutrition issues that they might have. So we see a lot of, primarily what we see is a lot of eating disorders. We see a lot of people who, a lot of students wanting to lose weight, gain weight, without eating disorders. We see a lot of gastrointestinal issues. We see, food allergies, just people who want to eat healthier. So one-on-one nutrition appointments is 50%. The other 50% is nutrition programs and events. So as the dietitians here, we each advise a different nutrition program that is led by students. So we're just kind of there to help lead students along in their coordinating of our nutrition programs and services, and they help us to promote some of our programs and services as well. So it's kind of 50-50 events, programs, one-on-one nutrition counseling.
And what are the things that you like and don't like about this role? Like, what are the pros and cons that someone who might be interested in this kind of job should know?
Pros, I love that as a dietitian, and I think a lot of dietitians probably find this in their careers as well, that you get to wear a lot of different hats. So I love that I get to see patients one-on-one and students one-on-one and have that more like individual contact with them. But at the same level, I love that I get to be a part of programs that reach more students. So that's probably my favorite part, is just that it's always different and I'm always doing different things. The possibilities are endless if I wanted to do something different or start a new program. We thankfully have leadership here that tell us, okay, go for it. You know, as long as it fits with our mission and we have the funds for it. Which brings me to what I don't like about this position, or really any position, is trying to obtain funding for whatever you want to do. That can be really frustrating. And then chart notes. So when you meet one-on-one with a student, you have to, it's chart in a medical note, and that takes up a lot of time, and you have to be very specific, and you have to really summarize what you talked about with the student, and there's different checklist items we have to reach. So after a patient leaves, the work isn't finished, you still have to do a lot of charting, and it's just something that lurks over you until it's finished. But really, other than that, I have very few negative things to say about being a dietitian in this position.
So you work like in a school and a university setting.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the other settings that dietitians can work in?
Oh gosh, I could be going on and on forever. So one of the, not really forever, but one of the most common places dietitians work, and one of the previous jobs I've had is in a hospital. So they call them clinical dietitians, and they see patients day in and day out in the inpatient level. They can also work in renal clinics, they can work in long-term care facilities with the elderly, they can work in school food service, so helping plan school menus for children or high schoolers or whatever age group. There's also dietitians who work in WIC, so they help women, infants, and children with their nutrition. There is also dietitians who work in media. So the dietitian that I actually share this office with, she has her own blog. She takes beautiful food photos. She works with several different major food companies like Wonderful Pistachios, Kikkoman soy sauce. I mean, you can get paid by these companies to feature their ingredients in your recipes. And to be talking about some of the health benefits of some of those things. There are dietitians who work in sports. So, for instance, we have a dietitian at McHale who works with the athletes. There's several dietitians in academics, so they teach, they advise students in the nutritional sciences department. So there's a lot more. There's also supermarket dietitians who help people navigate the grocery store, and also who dictate what food might be coming into the grocery store. So there's just a ton of different jobs, dietitians, and private practice too. I would say that's another big one. People just have their own businesses and see clients one-on-one for the kind of the same thing I'm doing in an outpatient setting, but have their own business. those are just a few so of many.
For someone aspiring to succeed in this field, what are the steps or the path that they should take?
First things first is you would need to get your undergrad degree in nutrition. Here at the U of A specifically, they have a nutrition route and they have a dietetics route. So you'd probably want to take the dietetics route if you wanted to get your what they call RD, which is the registered dietitian credential. But if you want to pursue that, you do need to have a degree in nutrition. That's a 4-year degree. And then after that, during your senior year, what will end up happening is you will end up applying for an accredited internship. And if you want to become an RD, you have to complete an approved internship. And that can be anywhere from 7 to, I've seen them as long as 12 months. They're usually unpaid, which some of them, if you're really, really lucky, you'll get one that you might get paid. A lot of them are now turning into dual master's programs because in the year 2020, if you want to be a registered dietitian, you also have to have your master's degree. I'm grandfathered in, so I don't have to get my master's, but I'm working on it. But they would need to complete that internship, and after the internship, they are now eligible to take the exam to become a registered dietitian. It's something you study for a couple of months, kind of like the RN exam. You take the exam. If you pass, you're an RD. If you don't, you can take it as many times as you need to, but it costs a couple $100, so hopefully you can pass it in one of the first couple times. So that is kind of the timeline. And I would say overall, if to become an RD, it'd be a 5-year thing. From the start when you're a freshman to a year after you graduate, you can have your RD.
Do you have a particular quote or rule or idea or any concept that helps you succeed?
Yes, a lot of things, but I think professionally, the network of people that you surround yourself with is really important in any profession that you decide to get into. So getting to know the people in the field that you're interested in. And it's true what they say, you know, it does matter who you know. It's how I got this job. I happened to be at a networking event and I met my supervisor. We were both from Michigan. I got talking with her. She saw my face a few times. I mean, I think it really contributed to me getting this position. So networking, huge, and having a support system of other people in your profession who have experience in the profession that you're interested in and finding a mentor. My supervisor is my mentor and she has helped me in so many different ways with this job. And then on a personal level, obviously, you want to make sure you have support from family and friends and all that good stuff too. So I would say those are the 2 biggest things.
Do you have any other general advice for young adults who are about to graduate or wanting to change their careers or looking to become more independent?
I think it's never too late would probably be a good takeaway to change your career or to change your mind about what you're doing. I think that every step of the way, even if you're in a position, like for instance, you start off, for me, I started off as a clinical dietitian. I knew I didn't want to be a clinical dietitian, but I sort of waited it out and I got that experience and it was a stepping stone to prepare me for this job. And I think, you know, put yourself in uncomfortable positions. Even if it doesn't feel right in the moment, it might help you in your dream job. So don't be too picky when you first start as a new professional. Jump right in and get that experience, because chances are there's going to be other opportunities and now you have some experience under your belt to go off of. So that would be my biggest piece of advice for a young professional, is just jump right in even if it's uncomfortable, because discomfort means growth. Great. Awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share that with everyone.